Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Indian government completes 11 years of good governance under PM Modi's leadership, ushering in remarkable economic transformation, aimed to make India Vikasit Bharat by 2047. Protests intensify in Los Angeles after National Guard deployed over immigration raids face off with law enforcement. Trump threatens action against demonstrators. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar begins a week-long visit to France and Belgium, will hold talks with European Union leaders, aims to renew momentum to ongoing cooperation in diversified areas. And world leaders gather in France for the third UN Ocean Conference. Union Minister Jitendra Singh leads the Indian delegation. Climate change, pollution, loss of ecosystems high on its agenda. Good afternoon to all the viewers joining us at this afternoon broadcast. To begin with the latest, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government has completed 11 years in the office. Up next, we revisit government initiatives to empower and uplift the women. Well, 9th June holds a significant place for the government as Prime Minister Narendra Modi took oath on this day in the year 2024 for a third straight term as the head of a coalition government. The Bharatiya Janata Party will today present a report on the Modi government's achievements of the past 11 years. In Delhi, the BJP National President JP Nadda will hold a press conference to present the government's accomplishments to the public along with the future goals of a developed India. Chief Ministers of BJP-ruled states and union ministers will also hold a press conference across various states in the country to inform the public about the achievements of the Modi government. The Indian government has strived to achieve Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas for the people of the nation. Since 2014, India's welfare architecture has been guided by the principle of Antyodaya, ensuring the upliftment and development of every person, with the government targeting 100% saturation in every flagship scheme. Over the past 11 years, crores of previously deprived households have gained access to essential amenities such as tap water, electricity, toilets, housing, healthcare for the first time. A report released by the UNDP affirmed a significant decline across all 10 indicators of multi-dimensional poverty in India. Now, these achievements reflect a new era of governance rooted in equity, backed by data and powered by the resolve to serve every citizen of India. Let's now take a look at some of the achievements. Well, 15.59 crore rural households got the tap water. 100% Har Ghar Jal in 8 states and 3 union territories have also been assured. Nearly 4 crore houses completed under PMAYU scheme. Now, 2.86 crore households were also electrified under Saubhagya scheme. Not only this, 22.6 hours average rural supply was also supplied. Now, 12 crore household toilets were also built. Along with this, 5.64 lakh villages were declared as ODF+. Now, talking about Ayushman Bharat, that covers 55 crore people so far. Not only this, free ration to 81 crore beneficiaries have also been provided. And over 10.33 crore LPG connections under PM Ujjwala Yojana have been assured and supplied. 68 lakh loans to street vendors under PM Swanidhi scheme has also been ensured. 1.57 lakh startups have been recognized, out of which 118 are unicorns. Now, 2.37 million artisans were also registered under PM Vishwakarma scheme. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 11 years have transformed millions of lives. Prime Minister Modi's leadership strengthened the farmers' income and livelihoods with direct support, fair prices and robust crop insurance through PM Fasal Bima Yojana.
दिखती है खुशहाली, मंडी बाजारों में आई, खेतों से हरियाली, फसलें लहराई, समय पर पानी और सिंचाई से हुआ कायाकल्प मोदी जी की अगुवाई से। प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना, मोबाइल देता आवश्यक सूचना, एग्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड से मिली निजात धन की समस्या से। किसान सशक्त खुशहाल हो रहा है, खुशहाली के बीज बो रहा है, अद्वितीय विकास हो रहा है।
Darshan Rana, the chairman and managing director of Rana Group, lauded the remarkable economic transformation India has witnessed under the 11 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. Rana also highlighted the shift in India's economic landscape, describing it as a drastic and determined leap towards self-reliance.
I saw many changes in this government, the way they have reformed the economic development, social welfare in 11 years. We have so drastically changed in the economy as well as the controls on the systems. The way economy has grown from 10th position to 4th position today, it's a miracle. No normal person can do. So the growth in GDP and the revolution in the GST and Make in India programs, Digital India programs make our country very efficient.
Ace badminton player Lakshya Sen lauded 11 years of the Modi government, saying that it has organized several programs to encourage the athletes such as the Khelo India and Target Olympic podium schemes. Take a listen.
The Modi government has completed 11 years, and during this time the government has done remarkable work in sports as well. Several programs has been organized to encourage players such as Khelo India and Target Olympic podium scheme. These programs have provided players with the opportunity to showcase their talent at a global level.
Renowned sand artist and Padma awardee Sudarshan Patnaik congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his 11 years of leadership through a powerful sand sculpture with the message 11 years of Modi era, a Jan Sevak's journey to build Viksit Bharat, unquote, at the Puri beach in Odisha. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar begins his week-long visit to France, European Union and Belgium. During this visit, External Affairs Minister will travel to Paris and Marseille, where he would be holding bilateral discussions with his counterpart, Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs of France, Jean-Noël Barrot. External Affairs Minister would also participate in the inaugural edition of Mediterranean Raisina Dialogue, which is being held in the city of Marseille. During the visit, External Affairs Minister will be holding a strategic dialogue with the European Union High Representative and Vice President Kaja Kallas. During his visit to Belgium, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will hold bilateral consultations with the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Belgium, Maxime Prevot, and will also meet the senior leadership of Belgium. He will also interact with the members of the Indian community. The visit of External Affairs Minister is expected to further deepen India's friendly relations with the European Union, France and Belgium and give renewed momentum to the ongoing cooperation in diverse areas. Moving on. The third United Nations Ocean Conference is set to begin in the French city of Nice on Monday. Co-hosted by France and Costa Rica, the 5-day conference aims to accelerate action on protecting the world oceans. Here's a report.
The third edition of the conference will seek to mobilize all actors and stakeholders to conserve and sustainably use the oceans. It will focus on key themes such as restoring marine ecosystems, reducing pollution, and promoting ocean-based scientific cooperation. The third UN Ocean Conference will be held from 9th to 13th June. Accelerating action and mobilizing all actors to conserve and sustainably use the ocean is its theme. It aims to identify ways and means to support the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal number 14. The Sustainable Development Goal 14 is also known as Life Below Water. It focuses on protecting and managing marine environments, addressing issues such as pollution, overfishing, and the effects of climate change on the oceans.
The conference itself will adopt a brief, concise, but action-oriented declaration and compile voluntary commitments from all the sectors as a part of what will be referred to as the Nice Ocean Action Plan.
Minister of Earth Sciences Independent Charge Jitendra Singh will represent India at the conference. He will deliver India's national statement at the plenary and hold bilateral meetings with other ministers on the margins of the conference. A key highlight of his visit is an India-Norway side event on sustainable marine governance. Oceans cover more than 70% of Earth's surface. Oceans play a crucial role in regulating environmental balance by absorbing heat and carbon dioxide, moderating the climate, and supporting diverse ecosystems. They are also a provider of vast resources and biodiversity, an important enabler of trade, and an essential link between countries and human communities. And protecting the oceans means protecting a large carbon sink. A carbon sink is anything that absorbs more carbon from the atmosphere than it releases. Ahead of the conference, activists and organizations held protests in Nice demanding better protection of the world's oceans and marine wildlife. Wearing blue and white color clothes, the participants held banners that read, "Protect the ocean, protect life." They denounced activities such as bottom trawling, which is a method of fishing where a cone-shaped net is dragged along the seafloor to catch marine life. It's a destructive practice that can significantly impact the seabed and surrounding ecosystems. Bureau Report, DD India.
Ahead of the Oceans Conference in France, French President Emmanuel Macron was optimistic that more countries would join the pledge. Currently, 30 nations have agreed on attending the conference. On the eve of the conference, Macron said he wanted to reach an agreement for the entire planet and that France was ready to lead scientific research in the deep seas. He also called for more financing from Europe. Meanwhile, Macron dismissed the absence of US President Donald Trump or any of his cabinet officials in the UN Ocean Conference in Nice. He said that France will lead the charge and gather momentum for protecting marine resources.
There are about 30 of us, heads of states and government, who have committed to calling for a moratorium on deep sea exploitation. No, we are not going there. I announced that in Lisbon. There are already about 30 of us who have come and we haven't given up. I want us to reach an agreement for the entire planet because it's completely crazy. It's completely crazy to go exploiting and foraging in a place we don't know. It's utter madness.
C'est de la folie furieuse.
India's Earth Sciences Minister Jitendra Singh addressed the Monaco Marine Conference on Sunday, reaffirming India's commitment to building a resilient blue economy. In his address, Minister Singh said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had underscored the importance of the blue economy in his Independence Day speech. Minister Singh highlighted the India-Norway collaboration in marine spatial planning, a part of the Indo-Norwegian Integrated Ocean and Research Initiative, which has already produced impactful results. The collaboration has led to pilot projects in Puducherry and Lakshadweep, tackling key concerns such as coastal erosion, biodiversity conservation, fisheries management, and sustainable tourism. Moving on, India's Weather Department has warned of severe heat wave conditions over West Rajasthan, with temperatures in some areas reaching 48 degrees Celsius. The Weather Department has issued alerts, including red alerts for some border areas, and has forecast the heat wave to continue for the next several days. Specifically, cities like Jaisalmer, Barmer, Bikaner, and Sri Ganganagar are experiencing high temperatures. The weather agency predicted warm night conditions very likely at isolated places over Haryana, Delhi, and Chandigarh. It also predicted dust-raising winds at isolated places over Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, West Rajasthan, and West Uttar Pradesh. Heat wave is likely to affect the Jammu region in the coming days as well. People are advised to stay mindful of the weather and take basic precautions, especially during the hotter parts of the day. Simple steps like staying hydrated and avoiding direct sun can be helpful. Now, the flood situation in Assam has improved marginally as the major rivers including Brahmaputra showed a receding trend due to decreased levels of rains in the past few days. The number of flood-affected victims has decreased to 2.5 lakh across 11 districts. Meanwhile, the India Meteorological Department has issued a yellow alert for the states of Tripura, Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur, Assam and Meghalaya. As per the latest ASDMA report, none of the rivers are flowing above the danger level. The receding of flood waters has reduced the number of villages affected to around 741. A total of 130 relief camps and centers have been established. More than 24,000 flood-affected individuals are currently sheltered in 100 of these relief camps, while over 24,000 others who are not staying in the camps are receiving immediate assistance at 30 relief distribution centers. Time to take a short break, but still to come on the other side. The UK government partners with tech giants to train 7.5 million workers in AI skills. Carlos Alcaraz pulls off a stunning comeback after being 2 sets down to defeat Yannick Sinner, defends French Open title after longest Roland Garros final.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India. Now, as the demonstrations over federal immigration raids continued for a third day in Los Angeles, U.S. troops have made their first detentions inside the military areas set up on the U.S.-Mexico border as part of the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. Arrests are being initiated. Meanwhile, the National Guard have been deployed, culminating in confrontations between the protesters and the police. The unprecedented military areas along 260 miles of border in New Mexico and Texas were declared extensions of the U.S. Army bases by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The troops are temporarily detaining migrants and other civilian trespassers. U.S. President Donald Trump speaking to the reporters in New Jersey amid ongoing demonstrations in Los Angeles against immigration raids threatened action against the demonstrators. Trump said that strong action will be taken if danger is felt.
Is what I think it is. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order. We're going to see what we need. We'll send whatever we need to make sure there's law and order. Yes, if people stand in the way of law and order, yeah, they will face charges.
The Los Angeles Police Department said that it would not have deployed the National Guards to quell the unrest that has flooded the city and that the troops' involvement was directed top-down from President Donald Trump's order.
We could handle this. I believe that we would have gone through a number of steps before we'd have deployed the National Guard or requested deployment of the National Guard. We would normally go to 50% deployment to handle radio calls and do the business of policing, and everybody else would be focused on the initial problem. Beyond that, then we would request through the sheriff mutual aid, and that would bring in members of the 44 other police departments in LA County as well as the sheriff's office. And so that didn't occur in this case because it wasn't done through the sheriff or through up through the normal chain. It was done from the top down, from the president directing that happen, and then the National Guard was federalized. So they're working for the U.S. Army, not for the California State National Guard.
California Governor Gavin Newsom and U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth traded insults on social media over the deployment of the National Guard by Donald Trump. After U.S. Secretary of Defense posted on X that U.S. Marines could also be deployed if violence continues, the Californian governor shot back and called it a deranged behavior. Hegseth then responded, writing deranged equals to allowing your city to burn and law enforcement to be attacked. Newsom wrote on X, these are the acts of a dictator, not a president. He accused Trump of trying to manufacture a crisis and called National Guard deployment in Los Angeles as unlawful. He also requested the Trump administration to withdraw its order to deploy 2,000 National Guard troops in Los Angeles County. Now, on the other hand, Los Angeles mayor has criticized Donald Trump administration for provoking chaos in her city through its recent immigration raids that prompted mass protests throughout the weekend. She said that when you raid Home Depot and workplaces, you cause fear and you cause panic.
When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic. And deploying federalized troops is a dangerous escalation, but we need to be real about this. This is about another agenda. It's not about public safety. There's clearly no plan, and there is clearly no policy.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has criticized the U.S. government over the immigration raids. She said that the phenomena will not be addressed with raids or violence and that Mexico always calls for peace, for non-violence.
We do not agree with this way of addressing the immigration issue. The phenomenon will not be addressed with raids or violence. It will be by sitting down and working on comprehensive reform that takes into account all Mexicans on the other side of the border. That is our position, and we'll always call for peace, for non-violence, not to intensify any violent form of protest. None.
The UK government is to team up with tech giants including Google, Microsoft and Amazon to train 7.5 million workers in AI skills, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is to announce on Monday. Starmer is all set to unveil $253 million in funding to help develop tech abilities for 1 million secondary school students as part of its Tech First program to bring AI learning into classrooms and the communities. The UK's AI sector is growing 30 times faster than the rest of the economy, employing over 64,000 people, according to government figures. Alongside Tech First, Starmer was also to announce a government-industry partnership to train 7.5 million workers with tech giants, committing to make training materials freely available to businesses over the next 5 years. Now, South Korea's newly elected President Lee Jae-myung and Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba agreed during a telephonic conversation to strengthen bilateral ties. The call comes after the two leaders said they aim for their countries to continue coordination on North Korea issue. Lee, a left-leaning leader who was elected last week, has said pragmatism was key to his diplomacy and he would continue with security cooperation between South Korea, Japan and the United States. Lee told Ishiba that he wanted to deal with geopolitical crisis within the framework of three-way cooperation with Tokyo and Washington, Kang Yoo-jung. Reaffirming the significance of bilateral ties, the two leaders agreed to meet in person to further develop relations. And now to get you the biggest sports update of this day, Carlos Alcaraz outclassed Yannick Sinner with a comeback special after an enthralling 5-set thriller to lift his second Roland Garros title Paris on Sunday. It was the first French Open men's singles title clash with Alcaraz and Sinner slugging it out for 5 hours and 29 minutes. Alcaraz lost the first 2 sets before suddenly looking practically unbeatable after saving 3 championship points. The momentum swung wildly between both champions and Alcaraz prevailed with a 4-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 7-6 scorecard in his favour. Sunday's final was the latest and most electrifying chapter in one of tennis's most captivating modern rivalries. Alcaraz and Sinner had never before met in a major final, and their long-awaited showdown did not just deliver, it made history. In soccer, legendary Cristiano Ronaldo broke down in tears after Portugal defeated favourite Spain to clinch UEFA Nations League title on Monday. Portugal have won their second Nations League title after a tense finale. Portugal converted all 5 of their spot kicks to beat Spain by 5-3 in the penalty shootout after the game was held to a 2-2 draw at an extra time. Ronaldo scored 138th goal of his international career in the final. His goal came after Michael had given Spain a 2-1 half-time lead. After the match remained undecided in extra time, both the teams went into penalties. Spain's Alvaro Morata was the only one to miss in the shootout, meaning that Portugal were to be crowned the champions for a second time. The original cast of the hit musical Hamilton reunited at the Tony Awards in New York on Sunday night to perform a medley of songs from the show. The performance celebrated the musical's 10th anniversary and featured singer and songwriter Lin-Manuel Miranda along with Leslie Odom Jr., David Diggs and Vinnie Elise Goldsberry.
And the love who's burning alive will warm the winter night. Never fly away.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from the country and the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.